Getting ready to take a trip? We've got some tips on this next episode of Digest This.
Welcome to Digest This, the show that helps you revolutionize your digestive health. Here are your hosts, Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato.
Hello and welcome to Digest This. I'm Dr. Liz Cruz and I've got Tina Nunziato sitting right here by my side. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you've been having a great summer, and we are so excited to be here with you. If you're a first-time listener, we welcome you. If you're one of our regular listeners, thank you so much for always being on this journey with us and for hanging out with us every week for 15-20 minutes. So we have some tips for you. Now, we know it's the end of summer, and maybe
Probably should have done this at the beginning of the summer.
Yeah,
That's okay.
It's all good. I mean, you've got fall break that'll be coming soon, and then Christmas, winter break. I mean, there is always going to be an opportunity for traveling, taking a trip, and
the nice thing about the podcast is it's there forever.
exactly.
So you can listen to it again next summer before you go on a trip.
Exactly. So these are some tips, and we've been doing this for podcasting and doing, and teaching about wellness for over a decade. And we've also been traveling for over a decade, but it never ceases to amaze us that we still come up with things that we could have done better. And so anyways, we thought we'd share some of the tips. So we just got back from a trip, from our family summer trip. We went to Greece. We took Tina there for her 50th birthday. Yes, woo! 50. Woo!
Yeah, 50.
The new 40 or the new 30.
Right.
Doesn't she look amazing?
I feel great.
Fabulous at 50. Or as my little sash that I gave her said, 50-licious.
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 Yes. And you, by the way, you outdid yourself.
Oh, well.
Celebrating me.
Oh, well, I'm glad you enjoyed.
You definitely spoil me.
Good,
I
good.
appreciate it. So.
Oh, my goodness.
Such a good woman.
You deserve it and more. So why don't we just keep celebrating?
You keep saying there's more. I was like, stop.
We're going to keep celebrating.
It's already a month's
What
worth
is
of celebrating.
not to celebrate about this amazing woman of mine?
All right, let's get on with the podcast.
All right, so here we go. Tips before you go on the trip, okay? Things that are, look, basically tips just to get you pumped up, literally get you pumped up with some good immunity and get you ready. Because the minute that you travel, first of all, there's a lot of stress associated with travel. It doesn't matter if it's an amazing trip you're going on, there's a lot of stress. And
especially with the flights and making sure you're going to get there. And there's so many canceled flights these days. Like we even thought we weren't going to make it. Like, it's just a lot. Right?
Yeah.
And then you've got
we had an unexpected 9-hour layover, that was not part of the itinerary. So you never know what's going to happen. So, and it's crazy because it almost takes like a day or 2 or 3 to just kind of decompress and recover just from the stress of that travel. But look, the healthier you are, the better you are going to be in tolerating all sorts of stuff, okay? The stress level, the better rested you are, the better you tolerate it. The healthier you are, the better you tolerate being in an airplane that has hundreds of other passengers with people coughing and blowing their nose and sneezing and spreading all sorts of microorganisms through the air in the airplane.
Yeah, and the longer you're on the plane, we flew to Athens, so that was a 5-hour flight and then a 10-hour flight. That's 15 hours of being in an airplane compressed with all these people, hundreds of people.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Absolutely.
When you think about it, but yeah.
Yeah. So look, hydrating is so important. All right, we've got a bunch of tips. Hydration is at the top of the list because it's so important. Your body, remember, is mostly water, 80 to 90% water. And so your body needs that water. And when you fly, you actually get more dehydrated. So you need even more water. So if you start your trip out and you're already dehydrated, chances are you're just going to get more and more dehydrated as the trip goes on.
It's going to make it hard to recover.
Yeah.
So drinking a lot of water before you go, but then also taking water with you. Like we brought our water bottles with us, and even though you have to empty them before you go through security, most airports now have the water refill stations near the bathroom, so you can just go refill your water, and just always having water. Because I noticed on the airplane, like especially on our flight to Athens, they would come by and they would give you this little water cup, and you'd say, "Can I have some more?" And they'd give you again a little water cup, and you're like, I'm used to drinking this, right? So bringing this on the plane with you, they refuse to fill this up. However, they did come through later with little mini water bottles, and I asked them for 2 of those, and that filled my water bottle at least 3/4 of the way up. But having the water bottle so that you can fill it up and have the amount of water you need while traveling, because drinking this many cups of water on an airplane, is tough.
It is. Yeah, and it doesn't cut it. Like, you become more dehydrated when you're going to fly. And so knowing that, even starting to super hydrate like a week before you're leaving is so important. So that hydration, making sure you're getting the electrolytes in your water. And if you don't have access to electrolytes, you can get them through our website. We have, our super salts, which is an amazing source of electrolytes. So the electrolytes and the hydration, really important. Pumping yourself up with some good immune boosters like vitamin C, vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D. I mean, all these things help to boost our immune system. And so if you can be really pumping that vitamin C, even a week before, just to you're trying to get your body ready.
And I know I was taking more probiotics and greens too before we left, just to kind of get my body ready too.
Yeah. And actually, to what Tina said, if you can then take those with you to take on your trip, that's even, that's the best, the ultimate. So definitely be pumping up with all of these immune boosters, at least a week before, if not longer. And then take them with you, take your probiotics with you, take we took our vitamin D, our zinc, our probiotics.
And we only took enough probiotics for what we needed for the week and a half that we were gone, and we left the rest at home in the fridge. And they're okay to be out as long as you're going to, take them over the course of the week and a half. So I have a lot of patients ask me about traveling with the probiotics. They do not have to be refrigerated the whole time. You don't have to be that crazy about it, but just take what you need and leave the rest at home in the fridge.
Right. And let me see, what else did we take with us? Oh, we took digestive enzymes and greens. I believe we took greens with us.
And then the super salts, if you're going to travel with the super salts right now, be sure to put them in your luggage and check them. Don't take them through security, because they are a white powder, and so they get flagged, and they're going to think you're bringing cocaine through, but you're not. So just pack them in your bag and get them on the bottom of the airplane, and then they'll get there just fine.
It's a great tip.
Yes.
Great tip. Another big one is, through the years, I've seen, thousands and thousands of patients, and a lot of people get what we call vacation poopy, okay? Where, they get constipated, and there's multiple reasons for that. Part of it is you're not in your own environment, and your butt is very smart and knows that. It does. It's amazing. It's got like its own brain.
That traveled with us, she was constipated on the trip, and then as soon as she got home, she just unloaded, and she's texting me. She's like, "How does your butt know?"
It just knows.
It knows.
It just knows. Usually when we're coming back from the airport,
you're feeling it.
My butt knows. It's like, woo, we're almost home. Yeah. So vacation poopy is very common. Also, you're not eating your typical diet. If you're on vacation, most of the time we're not really eating healthy. If you're eating healthy at home, that's one thing, but going on vacation, you're eating out most of the time. And and then we get dehydrated. We don't get enough greens. Name it.
And you're off your schedule.
You're off your schedule.
That's the big thing too. So your body is off schedule, especially again with us flying to Athens.
Right.
Like my poop time would have been in the middle of the night, Athens time, right? So you're off your schedule. So your body gets thrown off. It's totally normal.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw this in there. Like, look, the probiotics those will help. All of our supplements, digestive enzymes, because that'll help you digest better. It helps a lot of our patients poop better. Even our detox helps people poop better. But you might want to consider getting something additional to take with you, something natural. I have to do that. I have always had vacation poopy issues, and through the years, even when I was young in my 20s, I remember being, in Hawaii and having to go to a drugstore to get something to help me poop. Okay, I've just always struggled with it. It is what it is. But you might want to get something like maybe go to, get some natural senna, some senna cod, something that you can take during your trip that will help get that out of there, because it is so uncomfortable. And I say this from personal experience. My wife is blessed because she poops no matter where we are.
I poop everywhere.
I don't. And it is so uncomfortable to be backed up with a day or two of you're eating full meals and just having a great time, but you're feeling discomfort, pain, because you're getting backed up and you haven't pooped. That is no fun, and it doesn't make the trip fun. So I have just learned through the years just to get something extra that I specifically take. It's like my vacation poopy pills. And so, anything that will help you eliminate. You want to get that stool out of there, even when you're on vacation, okay?
Yep.
All right.
Now on the compression socks.
Oh, the
for
compression
the
socks, yes.
They're so important.
Yes.
And then the kind of frequently walking and stretching while on the plane, especially when you're taking really, really long trips.
Go ahead, talk about it, and then I'll show them these.
Well, it's just important to have the compression socks to keep the blood flow. It's one of the things that happens when you're sitting on an airplane for 10 plus hours is the blood flow isn't moving. There's a lot of chance for clots and things like that. So they talk about always getting up, walking around on the airplane, obviously when the seatbelt sign is not on, but going to the back of the plane, stretching, taking that time. But I find that wearing compression socks also makes me feel
absolutely
better. And there's less swelling too in my legs when I wear them.
Yeah, I wore the compression socks and going over, and on our trip coming back, I had loaned the socks to our son and somehow just like totally forgot. I'm telling you, when we landed here in Phoenix, my legs were so swollen, like just the backup, the lymphatic backup, the swelling from, just combination of everything. So yes, very important to get up and walk around. We're not saying you have to do a yoga class on the airplane or anything like that, even though some of those yoga poses would probably help, a little down dog. And the compression socks, all right, they do make stockings. They do make a huge difference. And actually, in case you're wondering, this brand is called Bombas, Bombas, a very popular brand that a lot of us in healthcare use, and just great socks. I use them every day. And so, yes, very important. Another thing that would help that I'm not great at, my wife is really great at it, is getting enough sleep. 50% of the excitement of the trip is that anticipation before you leave on the trip. And I really soak that in.
I don't know how you do
Yeah,
it.
I really soak it in. And I for as long as I can remember, like even before you and I were married 50 years ago, I have always had a hard time sleeping, like right before we leave. A night or two, maybe 3 nights before, just from the excitement.
Night. I know. I am like, I gotta go to bed. I'm going to bed. I'll see you at 4 a.m. or whatever time we have to
So I have to tell you that this time was the first trip where 2 of our kids actually pulled an all-nighter. And I was like, why aren't you guys in bed? Oh, we're so excited, la, 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 la. I was like, oh, you guys got that from me.
They're crazy.
But the other one,
like me.
who was like her, was like out by 9 o'clock. Yeah,
exactly.
So, but anyways, trying to get as much sleep as you can. Again, that's going to help your immune system. And oh my goodness, this is so much fun.
And wash your hands.
Oh yes, lots of hand washing.
So look, you're at the airport, you're touching everything. It's just, there's so much sickness, and COVID is still out there. And like we talked about with the airplane and all the people, just wash your hands as much as possible when you're traveling, especially when you're in the airports.
And don't touch your eyes.
Yes.
Don't touch your eyes. wash your hands, like Tina said. You cannot wash your hands enough on these trips. And try not to touch your face. Try not to touch your eyes. I mean,
don't pick your nose.
Don't pick your nose.
Don't stick your fingers in your mouth.
Yes.
Just some tips.
Just some tips. Just some tips. And in case you're wondering, if you want to know some tips for when you come back, boy, do we have some for you. So hang on tight, because we've got another podcast coming up, another episode where we're going to talk about tips for when you come back from your trip. All right, if you haven't connected with us, you want to connect with us, you can find us on our website, drlizcruz.com. There's a magenta colored button on the homepage that you can click and schedule a free 30-minute wellness consult, all right? If you haven't rated us, please rate us. Please give us a 5. That'll help other people just like you to find us faster. And lastly, if you had not subscribed to this podcast, please subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you on the next podcast.
Thank you for joining Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato. To learn more about their revolutionary products and services, go online to www.drlizcruz.com.